By 1895, many nations had controlling influences in China. Guangxi, the emperor, was deposed in 1898 by his aunt, the Dowager Empress. The Chinese people believed her return to power meant resistance to foreign governments. Members of a secret society called the Boxers attacked foreigners in the provinces. By the summer of 1900, incidents of terrorism by the Boxers occurred in Peking, the capital. In spite of protests by the Chinese imperial government, 9 nations sent small detachments of troops to protect their delegations in Peking.
What is this terrible noise?
Different nations saying the same thing at the same time. We want China.
The presence of the legation guards failed to deter the Boxers. On June 20th, 1900, Baron von Ketteler, the German minister, was assassinated. It became obvious that the Boxers were supported by Prince Tuan, a member of the ruling family. Accompanied by a United States Marine officer, the British minister, as spokesman for the foreign legations, obtained an audience with the Empress to protest the failure of her government to control the Boxers.
You are well, Sir Arthur?
I am well, if you are well, Your Majesty.
We are pleased to receive you.
Your Majesty does me great honor.
We have been informed of the unhappy death of the German minister.
But the anger of the Chinese people cannot be quieted.
The Germans have seized Kiaochou. The Russians have seized Port Arthur. The French have obtained concessions in Yunnan, Guangxi, and Guangdong. In all, 13 of the 18 provinces of China are under foreign control. Foreign warships occupy our harbors. Foreign armies occupy our forts. Foreign merchants administer our banks. Foreign gods disturb the spirits of our ancestors.
Is it surprising that our people are aroused?
Your Majesty will permit me to observe that the violence of the Boxers will not redress the grievances of China. She's learning new arts of peace from the West. But China's greatest virtue is her patience. And if she will exercise that now, she will achieve everything.
And if not?
If not, if the counsels of violence and impatience prevail, then the blood of millions will be shed and the agony will be prolonged.
The Boxer bandits will be dealt with.
Where lies the guilt? With the one who wields the sword or the one who gives the command?
You know who gave the command?
With Your Majesty's permission, I would like to present an eyewitness.
By all means, Sir Arthur.
Major Lewis, Your Majesty.
Evidently, Major, you are in possession of secret information about the Boxer leadership.
It's not much of a secret, Your Highness.
Please go on, Major Lewis.
I saw the man who commanded the Boxers this morning. The one who ordered the attack in the German ministry.
You would know him?
It was Prince Tuan.
You believe this story, Sir Arthur?
I do, Your Majesty.
And you have come here to ask us to take action against Prince Tuan?
I have come here with the truth. The truth that is already known to the German government and to all the other powers.
We reject your truth, Sir Arthur, and your protest. We are pleased to inform you that Prince Tuan is our closest and most trusted advisor. Only this morning we appointed him to head the Foreign Office.
For our part, Your Majesty, Great Britain wants nothing more than continued friendly relations with China.
Because of the protracted drought, because of hunger and unrest among my people, because of the merciless demands of the foreign powers, the situation in Peking cannot be expected to become tranquil. Therefore, we earnestly advise you, Sir Arthur, that all foreign residents, including diplomatic personnel, should leave Peking within 24 hours.
Is Your Majesty informing me that she is severing diplomatic relations with all the powers?
Not at all. Her Majesty was clear enough. Her Highness is offering informal advice for your safety and protection.
I'm in favor of that.
Major Lewis.
She can't control the Boxers. We'd better get out before we're wiped out.
Prince Tuan, you will be responsible to see that these gentlemen are escorted safely to their legations.
We might do better on our own.
Bill, count the votes.
We're waiting for the American minister. Ah, Mr. Maxwell. I'm sorry to drag you out of your sick bed, but we need your vote on whether to stay or leave Peking.
The United States has no territorial concession in China. Never asked for one, don't want one. I'm afraid I have to abstain, Sir Arthur.
I understand, Mr. Maxwell. I just wanted you to witness the proceedings. Well, congratulations, gentlemen. You have all voted to go. There are 9 votes to leave Peking. Great Britain has voted to stay. We'll stay alone if necessary.
But that is not acceptable. We will all look ridiculous if we flee from Peking and the British remain.
Perhaps there is a reason why the British would like to remain here alone, the only foreign power in Peking.
My French colleague may be right. Perhaps Sir Arthur has some private information?
I have made my position absolutely clear. Admiral Sidney is already on his way to Peking with a force of several thousand men. He will be here at the most in 9 days. In the meantime, I, for one, have no intention of displaying fear of the Boxers, nor of handing a victory to Prince Tuan.
If the British stay, the Germans stay.
Surely, Sir Arthur, you realize that we here must make a decision in the interests of our thousands of civilians. Do you wish to be the one man who's standing in the way of their safe evacuation?
I have, of course, appreciated the risk, say no goodsman. But I believe, if we all stand united, that the Chinese won't dare mount a serious attack upon the representatives of the 11 great powers. And if we do all stand firm, we may preserve peace in China and indeed in the whole world.
Perhaps you are right, Sir Arthur. If the other powers decide to stay, Austria will have no choice.
Congratulations, Sir Arthur. It seems the British have won another bloodless victory.
I take it you've now unanimously decided to stay.
I shall report in my diary that the first vote was 9-1, and that, in a friendly spirit, it was then decided to make the decision unanimous.
Well, if that's decided, gentlemen, I suggest we call in the military.
The British admiral and his forces are trapped between Langfang and Amping. The railway is destroyed before him and to his rear. He can neither proceed nor retreat.
You see, General, the Boxers are not as useless as you believe.
Your Majesty, it does not require courage or skill to rip up a few rails. The Boxers flee from the foreign devils. If Admiral Sidney be denied the use of the railway, he will now march on Peking. I expect him here within the week.
It is true, Your Majesty. The Boxers are not equipped to stop such a well-armed force. Only General Young Lo's Imperial troops can do that.
The Imperial troops have no part in this foolish uprising.
The Imperial troops will do as Her Majesty commands.
Who is there who can make muddy water clear?
Your Majesty, if we commit the Imperial armies against Admiral Sidney, we shall be declaring war on all the powers. Our armies, for all their courage and devotion, could not possibly win such a war.
The Boxers have created an opportunity for a great Chinese victory. If our troops destroy the foreign forces, it will prove to all the world that China is no longer helpless. It will be the beginning of freedom.
Each of you speaks with the voice of a patriot. Prince Tuan counsels a reckless adventure. General Young Lo counsels prudence and patience. Prudence and patience for what? China's condition can be no worse than it is. Even if we should start a war and lose it, what more can the powers take from us? General Young Lo, you will personally command our troops and turn back the foreign armies.
Aided by Chinese imperial troops, the Boxers forced the relief expedition to retreat to the coast. On June 21st, 1900, the foreign compound in Peking was attacked.
Come back.
Well, what do you make of her, Major?
Well, Father, this is quite a weapon. What would you call it?
Well, you might say she's a cross between an alligator and an ostrich, but we call her Betsy, after the Dowager Empress of China. We found this old German gun barrel and some Russian shells of approximately the same caliber. The gun carriage is Italian, and the wheels are French. And that boy over there is fool enough to say you'll fire it.
I wonder if it'll be safer in front or in back.
The point is, where's Betsy going to be fired?
Well, we need her in the British legation. We're exposed on both sides.
Major Lewis, sir. Captain Marshall wants you.
What's up?
Chinese are on top of the wall, sir. That's what's up, sir.
Well, now we know where Betsy goes.
Here, over here, you.
No sign of activity, hmm?
No, sir. I think they're all asleep.
Aye, well, we'd better not be, Sergeant. You'd better wake them all up.
Yes, sir.
Wake up. Guten Morgen. Bonjour, bonjour. Buongiorno.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Here they go!
Under flags of truce, Tuan renewed the demands of the Chinese imperial government.
An urgent message from Her Imperial Highness. And therefore, in view of the unprovoked aggression by the armed forces of Great Britain, Germany, Russia, France, the United States, Japan, Italy, and Austria, under the command of Admiral Harold Sidney, the Imperial Chinese government demands the immediate and unconditional surrender of the armed forces of these nations in Peking, and the surrender of all their weapons. We will await your reply.
In expectation of the arrival of a second relief force, the embassies refused to surrender. During July and early August, they continued to hold out under severe attacks.
Well, we bought ourselves another day anyway.
Still, it wasn't a bad fight, you know.
What time is it?
5:37 a.m. August the 14th, 1900.
How many days did we hold out?
55.
Disguised as a peasant, the Empress fled the capital.
The dynasty is finished. The dynasty is finished.
With Peking occupied by the foreign expeditionary forces, China was required to pay indemnities of $325 million. The United States allocated its share to scholarships for Chinese students at American universities.
Listen to them. They're all playing different tunes again.
Well, for 55 days we played the same tune.